All right, we're about to dive into one of life's most fundamental processes. But here's the catch. It's completely invisible. We're talking about respiration. And we're going to walk through a really clever experiment that lets you not just get it, but actually see it happen and even time it.
So that's the big puzzle, right? How in the world do you put a stopwatch on a chemical reaction that's happening silently inside microscopic cells? It sounds pretty much impossible. But as you're about to see, if you have the right tool, you can turn this whole biological mystery into a really cool piece of detective work.
So first up, let's talk about the challenge, seeing the invisible process.
Okay, so from the yeast we're using in this experiment, all the way to you, sitting there watching this, our cells are all busy respiring to get energy. But it's all happening on a molecular scale. There's no flash, there's no bang, nothing you can actually observe. So how do scientists even begin to study it?
Well, this is where things get really fun. Scientists use a brilliant bit of chemistry, and that brings us to the hero of our story, a little chemical spy that goes by the name TTC.
So TTC is what's called a redox indicator. Now I know, that sounds super technical, but the idea is actually very simple. Think of it like a chemical informant. It's normally totally colorless, but when it gets reduced, which for us just means it grabs onto some hydrogen atoms, it changes color. That color change is the signal that tells us a secret transaction just took place.
To get how our spy operates, we need to know what the scene looks like before it shows up. So in normal respiration, as our cells break down sugars, they release these high-energy hydrogen atoms. Molecules called NAD and FAD act like these tiny shuttle buses, picking up the hydrogen and driving it to the next step in the energy factory.
And here is the genius part. Our spy, TTC, full name triphenyl tetrazolium chloride, is designed to basically impersonate the bus stop. It jumps in line, intercepts those NAD and FAD shuttle buses, and hijacks the hydrogen they're carrying before they can reach their real destination.
The second TTC snags that hydrogen, that's when the reduction happens. And this is the signal we've been waiting for. It's our spy sending up a flare. The TTC molecule itself changes, and the whole solution, which was perfectly clear, starts to turn a vibrant red. Just like that, we've made the invisible visible.
So here's the absolute bottom line. We now have a direct link between something we can see, a color change, and something we can't, the rate of respiration. If those yeast cells are respiring like crazy, there are tons of hydrogen buses on the road, TTC intercepts them fast, and the whole thing turns right quickly. A slow color change, that means slow respiration. It's that direct.
Okay, so we've got our spy. We know its secret signal. Now it's time to see how we actually deploy it in the mission. Let's walk through the experiment itself.
You know, in any good experiment, you've got the one thing you're intentionally messing with and the one thing you're watching to see what happens. For us, the thing we're changing on purpose is the temperature. That's our independent variable. And the thing we're measuring is the result, how long it takes for that red color to show up. That's our dependent variable.
The procedure is super methodical. You get your yeast and your TTC in separate tubes. You let them sit in a water bath to make sure they're at the exact right temperature. Then, it's go time. You quickly mix them together, hit the stopwatch, and you stop it the second you see that red color appear. Then, you just do the whole thing all over again at different temperatures to see how temperature changes the speed.
Now hold on, let's zoom in on step 2 for a second. That 5-minute wait, it might seem kind of tedious, but in science, these little details are everything. So why do you think this wait is so critical?
And here's why. It's all about making it a fair test. I mean, think about it. If you mix a cold test tube of TTC into a warm tube of yeast, what's the real temperature when the reaction starts? It's somewhere in the middle, and you have no idea where. That waiting period makes sure both of your reactants are at the precise temperature you want them to be before you hit go.
And this whole idea of a fair test goes beyond just temperature. You've got to control everything else too. The amount of yeast you use, the amount of TTC, all of it has to be exactly the same for every single trial. If it's not, you'll have no idea if a faster time was because of the temperature or just because you accidentally dumped in more yeast that one time.
And of course, a super quick but really important note on safety. This is a real lab experiment with real chemicals and glassware. TTC can be an irritant, so you want to keep it off your skin. You handle the glassware carefully, and you keep your area clean. You know the drill. Safety always comes first.
Okay, field work is complete. Our spy has gathered the intel. Now it's time for the analysis phase. Let's get into decoding the results. So your raw data would end up in a table that looks just like this. You've got your temperatures in one column, and in the next, the times you clocked with your stopwatch.
But you see that third column? Rate of reaction? That's where we turn numbers into actual understanding.
Now, this is a really key step. Thinking in terms of time can be kind of backwards, right? A long time, a big number, actually means a really slow reaction. To make it more intuitive, we calculate the rate by doing 1 divided by the time. This just flips it around. Now, a high number means a fast reaction, and a low number means a slow one. It makes so much more sense, especially if you want to draw a graph that goes up when things get faster.
So, we've got the SPY. We ran the mission, we decoded the data. But, so what? What's the big picture here? For our last section, let's talk about why this experiment actually matters.
Well, for one, this is way bigger than just some yeast in a test tube. This is a fantastic model for how temperature affects enzymes in pretty much all living things, including us. And on a practical level, these exact principles are used every single day in baking and brewing. Controlling yeast is what makes your bread rise and your beer ferment. But honestly, the coolest part is that it shows you the heart of science, using ingenious tools and clever thinking to shine a light on the hidden world all around us.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big idea to think about. We used a chemical SPY to see respiration. But this is just one example. It really makes you wonder, what other invisible processes, what other secret workings of the universe are just sitting there, waiting for someone to invent the right SPY to bring them out into the light?